on a little walk pre-match. Here's James and me. We're just going to look for something that will become all evident later on in this episode. There we go. There it is. Saturday, match day, Headingley AFC. Just got to finish getting ready. That'll do. Let's go. I'm down at Barfield now. It is our first team taking on Headingley AFC in a league match. They are one place and 1 point behind us, and they've already beaten us 4-1 this season down at Wheatwood, so hopefully we can get a bit of revenge for that scoreline. It's going to be a tough match. I know I always say that, but we had quite a few injuries from the Ilkley Town match, so there are a few second team players that have been called up into this game, so it'll be a bit of a patched up side that manager Dan Marshall sends out, but I'm sure they'll do their best. I'm sure they're going to try their hardest to get the win, so I'll see you all at half time. So if you guessed that James Harrison owned those boots, you'll be absolutely right, and I've got him here with me now. So the first question, James, why Nike Phantoms?
Just fit my feet well, because you like the stud pattern and they fit my feet nicely, so.
Fair enough, sounds good to me. Right then, let's get a bit of a Q&A going. So, which team do you support?
I'm a Barnsley fan.
Wow!
Unfortunately this season, but...
First one is a Leeds United fan. That's a brilliant, absolutely superb. So why Barnsley?
My family from down that way, my dad's side of the family, and so I've just always been a Barnsley fan, and that's where I'll stay.
Now to show my English, it's Oakwell, isn't it?
It is.
Barnsley's still got it at 47. So have you been to Oakwell?
I have, plenty of times.
And what do you like about Oakwell?
Just good atmosphere. I mean, especially when it's busy, which this season it's not been. Playing some bottom end championship football, and it's not been too great. But yeah, when it's full and there's a decent away crowd, decent home crowd, and it's just a good atmosphere. So
it's one of those stadiums that's quite close to the pitch, if memory serves as well. Not like the modern ones.
It's fairly boxy, and it serves for a pretty good atmosphere. So
the old ones, I always find the old ones are better. Yeah. These modern ones, where there's sort of like there's too much space, it doesn't work sometimes. So what's the best game that you've ever seen Barnsley play?
Best game I've ever seen Barnsley play is probably against Millwall in the playoff final at Wembley. Adam Hamill scored that screamer from 40 yards out. But the best game that I've been to would have been, I want to say Chelsea, when we beat Chelsea 1-0 at home, and that was a great goal. The Giants scored a header, and yeah, brilliant.
Superb. So that probably answers one of my other questions as well. As I say, of all the grounds that you've been to, which would you say is your favourite?
I've been to a lot of grounds and I've watched quite a lot of games, but I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball out and say St James's Park in Newcastle. The way that ground is built up and the noise that it makes is just unreal. So.
Fantastic. Now, I've just been reminded that I actually took a photograph of James when he played for Harrogate Town Academy when you would have been about 17,
15, 16.
Oh my God, that makes me feel even older. So, obviously you've played for a few teams and you've played in a few grounds. As a player, which would you say is the best ground that you've ever played on?
Best ground I've played on. So as far as the stadium goes, maybe Bootham Crescent when York City were playing there. As far as a pitch goes, probably one of the training pitches at Everton's training ground was a good pitch.
But that was lush, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Wow. Right then, so the question that is actually dividing quite a few people, although it's very, very close in terms of who likes who is the GOAT for you, Messi or Ronaldo?
Absolutely Messi, 100%. I don't get me wrong.
Hesitation.
Ronaldo's a great footballer, but it's just natural raw talent. Messi all the way.
Brilliant. Right then, what I'm going to do now is, I don't usually do this, but James has just started off a superb company and one that everybody needs to know what he's offering. So I am now going to hand over the floor to James so he can describe what his company is. Pay attention, it really is worth it.
So I've just as Pete said, just recently started a company. It's called the Fast Coach. It's the first aid and safety training company. I am qualified in teaching people first aid, emergency first aid at work, anaphylaxis training, defib training, oxygen therapy, all sorts. I'm currently still expanding what I'm qualified to teach as well. So I've started a company, and I'm looking to do as much good with it as I can do. So.
Now this is something that I know about as well. Nothing that I don't normally tell people this, but I suffered what was a pseudo heart attack quite a few years ago, and thanks to some colleagues of mine, I was safely got to hospital. But everybody, especially the Christian Eriksen thing, who everyone saw in the World Cup, and just things that happen on everyday life, first aid is so vital. So if there's anyone out there that can help James, knows any contacts or anything to help him get him going, even can give him some equipment. I'm going to post his email address down below. I'm also going to stick a link onto the website that is going to be built for him. So keep checking back, keep having a look at it. Absolutely fantastic. James, have a great match today and well done on this new business. Score prediction.
3-1 Dayton.
Score prediction today, mate.
2-1 Dayton.
Love it. I found Mason on my travels. Tough game today, Mason.
Yeah, be a tough game. I think they put up a good performance against us last week, well, a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was. But yeah, I think the lads will put in a good shift and fingers crossed get the result.
It's a bit of a patched team as well, because we've had a few injuries from the Oakley Town match, and obviously yourself carrying as well. But
yeah,
it's one of those matches with the second team players that are coming up, they could bring a kind of different fire to us.
I think that hopefully that's going to be the case. I mean, there's a lot of good lads coming up from the resis that will bring something new. Fingers crossed they'll put in a good shift and get the result over the line.
Now, how far are you from being fully fit again? I know obviously you're going to miss this match, and with the two big matches coming up, are you hoping to be back for them?
Yeah, obviously with the final next Tuesday, I'm hoping to be fully fit for that. But at the minute, I've just come down today to make the numbers up, and but I'll see how I am in the warm-up. I'm going to give it a go. But
That's what I like to hear.
yeah, we'll wait and see. But fingers crossed, I'm not too far off.
Go on, I'm going to put you on the spot. Score prediction for today.
I'm going to say 3-2 Rangers.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Have a great game if you get on.
Nice one.
If not, get your 10 better soon.
Yeah.
half time, it's not a good story to tell at all. It's 3-0 to Headingley. A very early penalty and 2 extra goals added to that have not made this a pretty game at all for Rangers. In fact, we've been the architects of our own downfall. Some very slack passing, not very good decisions, but hopefully the second half will be better. 5-0. It ended 5-0. 5-0. 5-0. Oh. Right, it's ended 5-0. It's not been the greatest of games, but I do have Jack with me post-match. So, Jack, give us a bit of a rundown from a player's perspective about that game.
Yeah, 2 really poor goals to concede. Seems to be our Achilles heel this season. Just switching off at the back, sloppy passes, just gifting them goals. Didn't really help ourselves with our passing either. It was just a bit of a toothless performance from the majority of the team. But you know, it's 5-0. You know, how can you expect to put an effort in when you're getting no effort back? So yeah, not good.
I mean, I suppose one thing we can sort of say it was a very much a patch-up team because obviously there's been so many injuries. It's Easter weekend, but it hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's why am I giving up my time to come for this? You know, it happened at Hospice. We just conceded 2 really poor goals. Heads go down, and then once the heads go down, it's hard to pick them back up again. Then you concede another, and then another, and then it just gets to the point where you just throw the towel in. Yeah.
In some respects, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Second half performance was a lot better than the first. I mean, we did start. You and I were just discussing beforehand about the inability to string 2 passes together. But second half, we seemed to at least build on that, and we had a few attempts, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was considerably better, but from my point of view, it still wasn't good enough at all. It doesn't help that we've got a few of second teamers coming in because a lot of our usual first teamers are either away or injured, and you have to call the second team game off. Fair play for the lads that came in, did the bit, but you can't expect it to gel first time. It just doesn't happen like that.
And now 2 matches against Knaresborough Town, one in the League Cup semi-final, one in the Whitworth Cup final. Did we have our mind on those games, do you think? No, I didn't. I just like to take each game as it comes. But again, I think today, you couldn't really put the result down to. We had Ben Lawrence come on, 44 years old, with 15 minutes to go, and he's not kicked the ball in a year. I mean, it don't really do the squad much good. That it did well when he came on to an extent, but when we're playing people like that and calling second team games off, dragging second teamers in. Don't get me wrong, they did very well when they came on. I thought Brad was good when he got on the ball today, but
we got quite a few players out, and it's the balance and the usual gel what we have with the team just wasn't there today.
Jack, thank you so much for your honesty, mate. Get your head up, mate. 2 big games coming up, I'm sure we can do it.